Hey guys, this is North back again with another video. Today's video, I'm going to give you my top 10 gourmand fragrances for the year of 2021. So I had been wanting to do this for a little bit, so I just took some time off, a little bit busy with work, and also trying to just wear these fragrances, see where they end up on my list. I originally wanted to do a top 5, but then I realized I was leaving out a couple good ones, so I just decided to make it a top 10. So what are gourmands? Gourmands are fragrances that smell like food, generally more so desserts and beverages, but more so like desserts, cakes, cookies, baked goods is usually the most common type of gourmand. So we'll see what I have in my list and what are the notes in these fragrances that make them gourmand. So let's get it going. Number 10 on my list comes from the house of Zara. Now, the only fragrances that I've picked up from Zara over the last year have been the ones that have been perfumed by Jo Malone. I'm still kind of a Jo Malone fanboy, even though I haven't picked up anything from the Jo Loves collection yet. I haven't found one that really suits me. But nonetheless, the one that I wanted to feature on this list, I got a discovery set of. And so the one that I wanted to feature is the Rose Marshmallow Candy. This one has vanilla, marshmallow, and blood orange. So this one is the heaviest of the 3 that I'll mention that I got in the discovery set. This one is a little cloying, but it's very sweet. It's very gourmandish. You don't get much rose from it. You just get a lot of like vanilla and like a marshmallow type of feel. So it can, like I said, it can be cloying if you spray too much of it, but I think this is a pretty good gourmand fragrance. And again, this came from the children's section if you wanted to check them out. The other 2 that came in the discovery set was cherry watermelon ice. This one's pretty good. My wife likes this. And the one that I've been spraying the most of was hip hop apple. So these 3 came in the discovery set, which is pretty cool. I've just been wearing these, to sleep and things like that, but I did want to feature them on this list because this Rose Marshmallow Candy one was the one I was most interested in, but the bigger bottles, the 40 ml bottles, were not available, but I was able to get this discovery set. And I just wanted to put this on there because it definitely is a gourmand and they're pretty fun fragrances. Number 9 on my list comes from the House of Lab on Fire. This is the only one that I own from this house. I definitely would like to check out more from this house. I just haven't had a chance. There's just too many things, too many houses to discover, So, but the one that I wanted to get because of the notes that were in it is called Paris LA. This one was released in 2014. I didn't mention the Zara one was released in 2020. Now this one has notes of Coca-Cola, lime, macarons, amber, and musk. This one is supposed to be a mixture of the 2 cultures. So Paris is supposed to be the macarons and the LA is supposed to be the Coca-Cola note that's in it, the Coca-Cola accord. So when you spray it on, it does open up with a little bit of fizzy effervescent of a cola, but then when it dries down, it turns into more of a pastry. Almost, like a baked good type of thing. And maybe that's macaron. I don't really eat too many macarons, so I'm not too versed in it. But this one ended up number 9 on my list. It's still good. It is a gourmand fragrance, but it just depends. Sometimes I wear it, it reacts good on my skin. Sometimes it doesn't. So I'm still getting to know it a little bit more. So that's why it's at the bottom of my list. Number 8 is from the house of Montale, and I wanted to mention this one. This was one I had been wanting to get in my collection for a long time, and I'm happy that I didn't have to order it online. They finally got it in Al Jazeera, where I usually get my Montale fragrances, and this is Honey Oud. Honey Oud was released in 2015. This one is an extremely popular Montale fragrance, and it has notes of cinnamon, oud, leather, and vanilla. It also has honey in it, of course. And this one is just, to me, what I get a lot from it is honey and cinnamon. It does smell like a dessert. I believe this is just This is one of the better Montale fragrances that I picked up. This is one that I blind bought, and I'm glad that I do have it in my collection. I wanted to try maybe Arabian's Tonka, but it's not as sweet as this one. This one is definitely a gourmand. You don't really get any oud with it, at least not in my opinion. So I have this one at number 8, Honey Oud from Montale. Number 7 on my list is from the house of Carner, Barcelona. This is also this is another house that I only own one from the house, and this one is called Tardes. The reason I picked this one up is because also the notes, this one is almond, Brazilian rosewood, rose, and tonka bean are the main players in this one. And what I get from this is just a delicious almond type of scent. It's very good. You can smell the almonds and vanilla in it, and I was really into trying to find fragrances that had almond in them. So when I smelled this one, it really spoke to me, so I picked it up. And to me, I consider this a gourmand. People, just like fragrances, whether they smell good or bad is subjective. Whether or not something fits in the category of gourmand is also subjective. So this one I consider to be a gourmand. I can't really place what type of dessert it reminds me of. I don't really do that much of it when I'm smelling it, because you know, I like sweet things. I don't eat a lot of cookies and cakes. I usually eat a lot of like sour candy and stuff like that. But this one to me is a delicious fragrance. And I listed the notes. This one was released in 2010, and this is number 7 on my list, Tardes. Number 6 on my list did not make the top 5. It does seem to be in a lot of people's top 5 fragrances, and this is from the house of Guerlain, and this is Spiritueuse Double Vanille. This one was released in 2007. This one has incense, pink pepper, bergamot, vanilla, and benzoin. This one is a sweet vanilla fragrance. It's supposed to smell like a boozy, like vanilla extract, for example. But this one, I feel like for the price that you pay for it, it's just sort of light. And you know, it should pack a little bit more of a punch. I shouldn't have to like dose myself in it to get what I want from it. But I also don't have too much experience with just straight vanilla scents, ones that are just straight vanilla. So this is why I ranked this one at number 6. It's still an awesome scent. I am very happy. Again, I mentioned in my top 20 discontinued fragrances that this one I'm glad I got in the old bottle. I do hate the sprayer. The sprayer is the worst. I wish I had one. The Tonka Imperial came like that, and I actually went today to try to see if I can get the old bottle of Tonka Imperial. And since they released the new gourmands here, the guy already snatched them up. I don't know what he did with them, and so the Tonka Imperial is not available anymore. So I'm glad I did get this old Spiritueuse Double Vanille. But right now, this one's at my number 6. We'll see where it ends up next year. Now breaking the top 5, I think 5, 4, 3 are sort of like a toss-up for me. But this one is from the house of Memo Paris, and this is Sintra. Sintra was released in 2020. This particular one, when it was first released, I sampled it and I was like, you know, I definitely have to get this one. And so I was able to get it from, you know, my spots where I get them kind of heavily discounted. And this one has red fruits. It has Petitgrain, Neroli, milk, cinnamon, vanilla, caramel, fluffy musk. It's supposed to have marshmallow in it. On the website, it doesn't have marshmallow, but on Fragrantica, it mentions marshmallow. And this one, if you don't like Neroli or Petitgrain, you may not like this one. It does open up with a Neroli, and this one reminds me of it reminds me of like, say, a Mediterranean dessert that was made with orange blossom water. This is what this one reminds me of. And to me, this is definitely delicious. It's definitely a gourmand. It smells like something that you want to eat. It does open up with the citruses, but the citruses die down. They're still there in the background, but it's mostly about the caramel and the vanilla and the benzoin. And I guess the marshmallow is there. But this is definitely a dessert gourmand fragrance to me, and this deserves to be in my top 5. Number 4 on my list is a fragrance that I had picked up a while back and had it just boxed up, just waiting to be opened for months, because I was able to get it like 30% off. But it was like in the middle of the summer, and it gets to 120 degrees here, and I didn't want to hate this fragrance, but I finally opened it up, was finally able to get it a wearing outside of the testing. And this is from the house of Parfums de Marly, and this is Oajan. Oajan is another very popular gourmand fragrance. This one was released in 2013. This one has cinnamon, honey, benzoin, tonka bean, vanilla, and musk. This one has been compared to like an apple crisp. It does have like an apple cinnamon type of vibe to it, even though apple isn't listed as a note. No fruits are listed as notes, but it does give you an apple cinnamon crisp type of vibe to it. This is a very delicious fragrance as well, but I like the next three a little bit more than this. I still have to give this some more wearing to see if it will move up or down. I don't think it will move down. If anything, it will move up. So we'll see. Let's keep it moving. Number 3 on my list is the very first fragrance that I ever purchased from by Kilian, and this one is called Moonlight in Heaven. This one was released in 2016. This one has grapefruit, mango, coconut, rice, and tonka bean as some of the main players in it. This is, to me, a beautiful, again, scrumptious, delicious fragrance. This one isn't too loud, but it isn't as light as like Spiritueuse Vanille is, in my opinion. But you get the mango, you get the rice, you get this tropical type of feel with it, and then it's also like mango sticky rice. You almost get that type of vibe with it. It's a very good fragrance, and that's why I picked it up. This is, out of all the ones that I could have chosen from by Kilian, this was my very first purchase, and so I've used a little bit more than I thought. When I was looking at it, I was like, wow, I can't believe I've used that much of it. But this is a great fragrance, and this is my number 3. Now to the top 2. The top 2 are definite heavy hitters when it comes to gourmand lists and gourmand fragrances in general. So number 2 on my list is from the house of Zara, and this is Italica. This one is the 2021 release. This one has the felt on it because this is a Harvey Nichols exclusive. And this one has milk, almond, saffron, toffee, bourbon, vanilla, and sandalwood. To me, this one is definitely the ultimate gourmand fragrance. This to me smells the most like food, and it's the one that smells just the most realistic, like cake, vanilla cake, just any type of beautiful, delicious dessert that you would want to eat from your bakery. This smells exactly like that. But I have it at number 2 because I don't know if I would want to smell like that every day. I don't know if this would be an everyday use type of thing, but I think this is an ultimate gourmand. This is definitely one of the best gourmand fragrances that I have ever smelled, and I'm glad that I picked it up. I wish that I would have got it at a cheaper price, but I'm glad I picked it up. My wife really loves it as well, and so I have it at number 2. Let's see what the number 1 is. Number 1 on my list is another one that people shouldn't be strangers to, and this is from the house of Dior, and this is Fève Délicieuse. Fève Délicieuse. Now, this is one of the first fragrances that I was just so happy to get in my collection because I was able to find the big bottle. I was able to get it for, a really good price. And this one lived up to, the hype online about it. Some things are really hyped up and they really don't really live up to it. I might not like it as much as someone else, but this is one that I love. This is one of my favorite fragrances, definitely, and I definitely won't be parting with it. This one was released, the one that I have was released in 2015. I believe it was like reintroduced in 2018. I believe this particular bottle was produced in 2016 or something like that. So this one has sour cherry, tonka bean, vanilla, cocoa pods, caramel, praline, benzoin, and milk. This one is a quintessential gourmand fragrance as well, but to me, it's not as realistic as far as replicating the smell of a food. as Italica is, but this is very sweet, it's very delicious. This is something that I almost could see myself wearing every day, which is why I have it at number 1. Again, I'm glad I got this in a 250 ml bottle. This is, to me, my number 1 Gourmand fragrance. So this is one that I would see myself reaching more so than Italica, because that one is just too realistic for me. This one is just super sweet. So if you don't like sweet, then Gourmands probably aren't your thing. So that's my list. What are in your top 10 of Gourmand fragrances? Have you tried any of these? Are there some other Gourmand fragrances that you like that people maybe don't consider gourmands? Are there some that people don't consider gourmands that you consider gourmands? Please let me know in the comments. One I wanted to mention, I actually didn't bring it with me, that I thought was going to be on this list was from the house of Montale, and that is Chocolate Greedy. Now, I did pick up Chocolate Greedy some time ago. I opened it and I tried it, and it's extremely popular online, but for me, it just doesn't react well with my skin. I don't like it at all. I don't think that I will ever wear it again. Even my wife was like, it smells like medicine or whatever. But, do you like Chocolate Greedy? Let me know in the comments. For me, I guess it just doesn't agree with my skin. So right now, this is my top 10 list. Please, again, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one when I come with another video. All right, guys, peace.